it is Calxiyn and Hunter here. Hunter doesn't know what we're doing yet, so I'm gonna brief him very quickly right now. But first, if you enjoy our videos, you should become a Patreon. You can either be a Patreon for $1, $5, or $10 and up, if that, suits you. And, if you can't do that, you should join our Discord server. So today, Hunter,
yes.
Everyone else has seen the title. We are talking about Blake versus Ilia. Will Ilia take... Wait, Blake versus Ilia. Yang versus Ilia. Will Blake... who will Blake choose if it came down to it? We're kind of having a little battle here. We don't usually do these. This isn't really a shipping video. It's more of a discussion that, if confronted... I'll outline the scene for you, okay?
Okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot. So...
Really?
Adam has been slain. Like, Yang and Blake have just killed him. Ilia was there, sort of thing.
She, in the background.
Yeah, Ilia,
biding her time, presumably.
Yeah, I think, okay, so Yang, well, Ilia and Blake would have kind of talked over this season, because they wouldn't want to fight each other, so they'd kind of discuss, like, what side are you on, Blake? There are no sides. We're all on our own side.
God, I'm glad you don't write for RWBY.
Like, I mean that Ilia is a third faction. We talked about that in another video we did, that Ilia is kind of her own faction, like Raven, right? I mean, I talked about that to you earlier, at least. I don't think it was in the last video we did.
You positive? Or were you talking to fictitious Hunter in your head?
I told you upstairs.
Do you like fictitious Hunter more than real Hunter?
No, I told you upstairs. I said, I think that Ilia and Raven fall into their own categories of anti-hero. Do you remember what I said? That
you were not saying this upstairs.
Yes, I did! That they're a third faction because they don't align with the heroes. That's Team RWBY, and they don't align with the villains either, necessarily.
She's a member of the White
Yeah, but that
Fang.
doesn't mean that she's doing Adam's bidding. We don't really know what she's doing yet.
Well, presumably...
She could be on her own mission that has nothing to do with Adam.
She could be an anti... She could be operating in sort of a gray area. But she still wears the mask and helped out a active member of the White Fang that presumably works for Adam.
But you know what I'm saying.
As we saw in the most recent trailer. I mean, does she have... Is she an entity to herself
That's
entirely?
What I'm saying.
I don't think she is.
I don't think she is. I think that she's kind of just working with Corsic and Fergus or whatever their names were.
What the fuck are Corsic and Fergus?
I don't know. Corsic was definitely one of them.
Corsic and Fergus.
Fergus was not the other one. I mean the Twin Tail guys. One of them was Corsic.
I mean, I know who you're referring to.
Yeah,
but Fergus?
I don't know. It's more like Forik.
How much would your parents have to hate you to name you Fergus?
I just made that up on the spot. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember his name. It starts with an F. Anyway, I think that she's just kind of working with them, like, I think that she's kind of a double agent with her own meanings, and what I mean by that is, I think that she's only working with them because she knows that they're going after Blake and she wants to protect Blake. So she's working with them to kind of do the deed that they want her to do while maintaining, like, Blake to be alive. That's what I mean by a third, like, faction almost. And so I think what would happen is throughout the series they're gonna kind of talk a little bit, you know, about why sort of they're doing in this, and that Ilia, like, not that she doesn't have a side, but maybe she's too scared to leave like Blake did, and then she doesn't agree with Blake that sometimes violence is the way to get people, you know, they'll have a conflict or something.
Yes.
But after Adam is dead, Yang will be like, Blake, like, you know, nothing...
Would she also take an break in the middle of her emotional...
Like, I don't know how to phrase this, but something along the lines of that...
I might have goofed. That
nothing is kind of chasing after them anymore and they can relax, and that's when kind of Yang
like
confesses that she has feelings for her. But then there's Ilia, who Blake has known, let's just say a little longer than Yang, that they were together for many years during the White Fang, something to that extent, and that she may have had I don't want to say a romantic past history with Ilia, but there was always sort of a spark between them, and now that the battle's over, Ilia says that now she can finally leave the White Fang and go and, like, be under a White Fang that's led by Blake because she trusts her, and that's kind of her admission of her feelings for Blake, is that it kind of reminds me of when, like, Jon Snow bends the knee to Daenerys, you know what I mean? Like, that is kind of his confession that he likes her because he trusts her enough to lead, sort of thing, and so I feel like that would be Ilia's sort of way of doing that, and so then Blake suddenly has a choice between Yang and Ilia. Who is she gonna go for? And don't say son, you people in the comments. This isn't a 3-way fight right now. Maybe we'll get to that one day, but for now, this is a 2-way fight.
I mean, it's a 3-way of a certain variety.
I know. Yeah. So, what do you think, Hunter?
Who would I think?
Am I putting you on the spot?
I mean, fucking a little bit. God, my improv skills aren't very good, Fergus. Not everyone can be as funny as you. But, who do I think Blake would choose, basically?
Because if
confronted with
both of them, who do you think that she would be more in love with to go out with? Or would she pick neither of them because she knows that they're both important to her and she doesn't want to lose them? That's not what I said.
I think it would be interesting to see that the greatest thing that was in between this hypothetical romance between Ilia and Blake was what ultimately defeated it. That Blake could not be with Ilia because she knew that she still harbored these feelings. You know, like, it's still more violent. It's still
the violent feelings. Okay, yes. I was gonna say. But then you have Yang, and Yang is also very violent in her nature, right? Which is why I think this question is interesting. Yang is just violent against the right people.
Yang,
you know what I mean?
Violence against the right people is fucking A-okay as far as I'm concerned, but... Oh, look, I actually beat this section. Fucking look at me. Violence against the right person is pretty okay in my books. With her, maybe it's still maybe an ideological one. There's still a lot of hate with her. There's still a lot of frustration. Come to think of it, Ilia and Blake are quite, Ilia and Yang are quite similar. A little violent.
And they both change
colors. A lot of anger.
Change
color. Fuck me. Like, she could pick whoever she wanted.
They're basically the same. No, but who do you think it would be?
Who do I think it would be?
I have 2 alternate realities in my head. Actually, I have 3.
Presumably where she says, you Blake, you Ilia, or fuck the lot of you, I'm going home.
Yeah, kind of, like...
Where I think...
But it's different.
I think if it was done in a way where Ilia still had some significant hang-ups, and maybe maybe Yang was like a little more kumbaya, peace of mind, like I fixed my mommy issues, I fixed my arm issues, Adam's dead, that's convenient. I think maybe in this hypothetical... I'm dead now. In this hypothetical one, she would see, like, how Yang is and how Ilia is and decide that she would choose Yang, and ultimately it would be the ideology that
breaks it?
That broke them apart originally, sort of tied them together maybe in the middle, and then finally broke them apart at the end. I think that would be...
That's interesting. Here's what I think.
Yes.
I think, here's my first one where she says yes to Yang. It's pretty much for the same reason as you, that she's moved on from Ilia and moved on from the White Fang, and she doesn't want to live in the past anymore because the past for her has always been fear. Like, she's afraid that Adam is going to come back because Adam is a part of her past that will come back and almost haunt her in the way of hurting her friends. And so even though that she values Ilia as a friend, I think, and would still want her to be a part of the White Fang and stuff like that, so, I think that in that sense, she would try to stay away from Ilia because she doesn't want... I think she would take a page from Yang's book sorry, I choked there. Because Yang says that from now on, she's armed and ready to kind of live in the future.
Armed and ready.
To live in the present, I should say.
band humor.
No, but it's part of the song, right? That was before. Not
I know you
anymore,
were being so subtle,
right?
I hardly could tell.
And so, because she says that she'll leave the past behind, I think that Blake will also kind of take that up as well, so they can both move forward and deal with their current threats. And so, even though she'll value Ilia as a comrade to fight against the evil, now that Ilia may sort of pledge her allegiance to Blake. Let's just put it that way. I think
pledge your allegiance.
I think Ilia is
this
just
how you
Jon
think
Snow.
Relationships work?
No,
Cal?
well, think of Jon and Daenerys again.
Yes.
That's what Jon did, right? He said that
they
he
are
would only
kings,
pledge to one.
Though.
Yeah,
like there's significant.
You know what I mean?
There.
Yeah, but think about it, like. Blake is kind of a princess of menagerie, and then the White Fang, like, was started by her father, so technically it kind of was started by a king. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sure. I mean, yeah, he's kind of the chief of menagerie, so, like, that's pretty kingly. On that note, I guess, I think that there's also the other choice, and that is that Blake kind of did have an old flame for her, and would go with her. Here's a good comparison. Think of Max from Life is Strange, and then think of Rachel Amber, right? We've kind of played some of Before the Storm, and so I feel like Hunter could understand this pretty well. If you guys haven't played it, you should play the game. Max is somebody from Chloe's past who she has kind of a torn-up relationship with. We kind of see that in the letters that she sends to her in Before the Storm, and even the main game. But Rachel Amber is this new, like, exciting person that has come into her life and is kind of filling the void that Max or Ilia left, right? And so that would be an interesting dynamic for a Life is Strange video. If Rachel Amber never died, would she ever get back together with Max? And I think so far that's a very hard question to answer, and we haven't played through the rest of Before the Storm yet. You guys can follow my Twitch channel if that interests you, but you understand what I mean, right? Yes. Is that I think that choice for Chloe would be as hard as this choice for Blake.
It can be hard to get over someone like that.
Exactly. That's someone that is very important to you. And, like, the same goes for Adam, right? It probably took her a lot of strength to kind of get over what Adam meant to her before and kind of what Adam did and stuff like that. Luckily, I don't think Ilia's ever really wronged her personally, and so that puts her in a good place. Meanwhile, Max kind of has a similar relationship to Ilia where, like, she just kind of disappears for a while, and then when they talk again, they don't really talk. You know what I mean? At the beginning, sort of something like that. Especially, again, in Life is Strange Before the Storm, you see these text messages going back and forth to Max, and Max never answers. I feel that's kind of like Ilia. Like, Ilia just stopped answering one day because she realized Blake was, not gonna be with her anymore, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that may also happen, like the Life is Strange scenario, I'll call it that, where, I don't want to say that, because Rachel is dead in the main game, right? And so I don't want to say that Ilia is dead to her, but what happened, but Ilia is basically
I don't think she ever thought
dead. You know what I mean? Like, she never thought that she would probably see Ilia again, and they would see each other, and so she's functionally dead, right? Just like if Rachel...
Functionally dead.
Yeah, just like...
You would make an amazing coroner.
Just like...
this man is functionally dead.
Just like, Rachel Amber is literally dead, right? She is something that has disappeared from Chloe's life, right? Ilia was something that disappeared from Blake's life for a long while, right? And so I think that it's a disappearing, I want to say, not dead. So I think that because Ilia disappeared for so long, there was something to fill the void with, and that would have been Chloe. Just like if Rachel Amber just suddenly came back, I think that after everything that Max and Chloe have been through together, she would not relinquish Max so easy. Now, you thought my third option would be to say, no, fuck all of you, and it was. But now I'm just wondering about, like, a threesome between all three of them. Why can they not all live happy together?
There's a common meme for, like, the poly, I don't know what it's called.
Amorship between Sun, Blake, and Yang, and Sunny Bees.
And it's like, it doesn't have to be this, Yang holding Blake's hand, or Blake holding Yang's hand, or this,
it could
Blake's holding Sun's hand. It could be this, and it's Blake holding both Yang and Sun's hand.
That's good.
Which is like, I mean, it kind of has to be like that. Yang only has one hand. At least it was like that with Yang.
Okay, geez.
But now I see a new one where it's like, it doesn't have to be like this, Blake's hand and
Ilia?
No, Blake's hand and Yang hand, or this, Blake's hand and Sung hand. It could be this, Blake's hand with Yang and Ilia. So I see that instead of Sun.
Remember, we're not talking about Sun during this video. He's not a contender in this situation because this was kind of an idea I had because of Life is Strange, which is gay. And so Sun is not involved.
I love how you said that. Which, for the uninitiated, is homosexual.
If you would like to include a hetero character, though, in this
situation... You say hetero like other people say cancer.
If you would like
or like cockroach.
If you would like to add a hetero character to this situation, there's actually a couple in Life is Strange that try to get at Chloe. If you think of Elliot...
Really?
If you think of Elliot, who we just saw yesterday, so you should remember this plot point that they kind of hung out a bit, but she didn't really feel Elliot. And we know why she did not feel Elliot, because she wanted to jack off to the girl in the Blade Runner. So it's pretty clear that Chloe is gay and not interested. As for, so that's an equivalent there, that Chloe kind of sees Elliot as a friend, but then, like, Rachel Amber comes and she's like, whoa, like, that's a girl.
Hello.
You know what I mean?
But are those...
And you also have a similar thing with Max as well, is Max isn't really interested in her love interest, but Max is Ilia in this scenario, but I'll just mention this quick anyway. Max isn't really interested in, like, the guy that likes her, which is, it's not Nathan. Nathan's the bad kid. I don't know, it's some nerdy kid, and I don't remember his name anymore.
Brother.
That shows no, not that
different
guy.
Okay.
It's, fuck, he was in the Tempest poster, and I was like, oh, that's blank, blank, blank. Do you remember when I said that last night?
Nope.
I don't know what his name is. Ethan? No, that's not him. It's
the black guy who was fucking up his lines?
No, not him.
Is he a black guy? I feel
like
I'm always going
he's
for black guys.
Life is Strange.
Oh my god.
Friend.
You and your
Max's
fucking
friend,
phone.
Sorry. Yeah, Max's friend, you get the option to kind of pity kiss him at the end of the game because the world's ending, and if you choose to save Chloe, he's gonna die anyway, and so you kind of try to make him happy before he dies. Right there. His name is Warren.
G. Harding? No? Okay.
Warren Graham. Graham. And so if you pity kiss him, you'll pity kiss him. Like, that's pretty much it. And so, yeah, even on the love interest thing, it says Warren, and then Chloe, and stuff. So you can, like, in the playthrough I played in the game anyway, you can pity kiss him if you want to, but then you can go and kiss Chloe. So it doesn't really matter.
You slut!
Or, well, if you kiss Chloe, she dies, so I shouldn't say that. You can save Chloe, and then everybody else in the town will die, and Warren doesn't matter. That's kind of where I see...
Wait, then how does that game end? Is it just like...
Okay, so here are the two choices here's the two choices for the game.
I mean, a little off topic,
Either Arcadia Bay gets sucked up by a tornado, and everybody that you were, I wasn't friends with anybody, but you can be. So everyone that you knew in town is dead, and you save Chloe, because...
And then what happens with you and Chloe?
Max fucks with some time travel shit, and so it creates the tornado, and the only way for the tornado... to go is if it eats everything, because Chloe has fucked stuff up because she was supposed to die, and then she didn't die, and you know what happens when people don't die? The universe tries to get them to die. So then the universe got mad and decided everybody else had to die because Chloe got out of control. She lived too long. And it was the equivalent of too many people, I guess. Or you can decide to time travel back to the past, let Chloe get shot, and Chloe dies. That's the game. That's the end.
So it's either the whole world dies?
Not the whole world, just that town.
So it's either the town dies or your girlfriend dies?
Yeah.
Can it be the town doesn't die and your girlfriend lives?
No. That's not an option.
Okay.
Chloe has to die or she has to not die.
But if the world is destroyed, you can be happy.
It's not the world.
Or
it's
if
just the town.
If the town is destroyed, you can be happily ever after with your... Okay, well, fuck.
That's why I keep saying every time we have this discussion, no, I would not sacrifice Hunter for a town that I live in.
That's a stupid decision. I'd throw you to the cosmic. I'd be like, sorry, Cal, fucking, I don't want
time travel powers, okay? I could time travel back to when you've thrown me and then anticipate it and then get out of the way. Yeah, sorry, that was a bit off topic, but still relevant. I'm just saying that Sun kind of, in this scenario, because this is Life is Strange based again, kind of, this was where my idea came from. Sun is kind of the Warren and then the Elliot of things. Like, he is kind of the side love interest that nobody gives a shit about because this game is gay. With that said, that's where I see
trademark
things
Kaylin Carpenter. This game is gay.
So, other than that, though, I think that what would actually happen remains to be seen, but I don't think Rooster Teeth would do a threesome, and so obviously the last option is Blake picks no one because she doesn't want to hurt either one, or she's not ready for that. And then from there, who knows? So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. I know we did an Ilia shipping video last week, and hopefully...
Which would you want most?
I don't know. That's a very hard decision.
I like the idea of, like, maybe Blake picking Ilia and then it kills Yang and it really fucks her up.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Because I want to cry, goddamn you.
I know. I was kind of thinking that, too. I think that would, from a narrative perspective, everybody in her life has left her, right? In regards to Yang. And so this is the thing that she thought that she could keep. Like, the love that she could keep. Because she couldn't keep her mom's love. Or, like,
What happened to Kylie? Like...
No, I'm saying Yang.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't keep her mom's love or her second mom's love, and so she finally had Blake and wanted to keep her love, but then Blake did not, words.
Give back. Let's just...
You know what I mean, though? Reappropriate, right?
That's not what it's called.
Reappropriate? Like...
Oh, I know. It's the tip of my... It's the tip of my tongue.
Why are we both just,
God, we are so good at this
right now.
job.
Anyway, she would not reciprocate.
There we go. Oh my God, that was so satisfying.
She would not reciprocate Blake would not reciprocate Yang's feelings, and that would leave Yang very hurt, and that's kind of something that I would like to see, personally, from a narrative sense, not a viewer sense, because the viewer person in me likes Yang more and would like to see Ilia in more pain. Sometimes you do things because they're well written, not because they're the best decision.
Because sometimes you do things because they're well written and the best decision, and not because you want to look after your emotional security.
Yeah, that's basically what I mean.
Because you're far too invested in the lives of fictional characters.
Anywho, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't expect to do it. I just kind of had the idea because we've been playing Life is Strange.
All right,
if you want to see us, like... that was in the last video.
Ah, shit. Anyways.
I called somebody Fergus, one of the White Fergus members.
Fergus. That's
yeah, anyway, so if you guys enjoyed this video, you should subscribe to my Twitch channel, watch us play Life is Strange Before the Storm. If you don't want to do that, you should become a Patreon and join our Discord server. So you can see these videos a day early. And yeah, that's all I have to say. We will see you later. Bye-bye.